Welcome back, my finance peeps. Today's not going to be a video about the stock market, rather it's going to be about savings accounts, a topic that I haven't really touched on in a while, for a couple months now. But with the economy heading to serious lows because, well, unemployment's a thing, and nobody is able to spend their money at the shops, which has caused many people to run to the stock market in the hopes of being little golden geckos.
Like magic. This painting here, I bought it 10 years ago for $60,000. I could sell it today for $600. The illusion has become real. And the more real it becomes, the more desperate they want it. Capitalism at its finest.
And I'm not making this kind of stuff up. ASIC's actually issued a warning to retail investors to stop coming in and trying to be little golden geckos. Under the period of review in which they're issuing this warning about, 140,241 new accounts and dormant accounts were either set up or revived and brought back, which is 340% more than what the average, account creation and setup would have been like during this period. But I want to be clear in saying that not all new investors are gamblers. I get it. I understand that this is a time where we're re-educating ourselves. I mean, I've said it in a video, learned how to invest and have taken our financial journey and goals within our own hands. That's a great thing. But for our less riskier folk who want to save our money in the pursuit of saving it for a home deposit, to invest in the stock market, or just to have on the side, where should we be storing it? We know that the RBA has lowered rates to an all-time low, which has been the same in the US. With the RBA consistently printing money to bail out businesses and suddenly giving more social payments out, won't that cause inflation? And won't that mean that the hard-earned dollars that I've been working hard for and saving for mean nothing? I'm just kidding, I'm not. As if I'd ripped up 50 bucks, come on now. If you've seen my budgeting video, you know. I spend money like I'm broke. Well, the short answer is yes, and inflation is okay. I mean, inflation is the reason why your asset prices go up as well. But I mean, for those who are holding on to cash, what are you meant to do? Apart from hold on to literal cash for YouTube videos. Alright guys, in all seriousness though, I want to go over the top 4 savings accounts in Australia right now. But before I do that, I want to go over what the top 4 banks in Australia are actually providing you, because in all honesty, many of us bank with them, and I know this because I have a lot of comments asking how NAB trade works, how commsec works. I haven't heard too much about Westpac and ANZ's trading platforms, but I always get questions around those platforms. So I know for sure, because I also have my money in Commonwealth Bank as well, not all of it, but many of us have our money, our home loans and everything tied to the big 4 banks. So Lee, tell us, what are they paying? Don't worry, I got you. That is, of course, right after you smash that like button. You done? Okay, cool, let's go. So to go through them, I'm going to start with the big daddy of the top tier banks, CBA. Now, full disclosure, I bank with Commonwealth Bank, and I think their online platforms from commsec to netbank is so good. I've used ANZ and Westpac, but there were moments where I just had to actually call up the bank, and I don't remember the last time I called up a bank, which has never happened with me for CBA. Now with CBA, unfortunately, they've been called out for being one of the last banks to hand forth the low rates on their mortgages, and currently are giving us a poor 1.05% on their savings account, which is like receiving $1,050 for every $100,000 you have deposited with them. Now this rate seems bad, but I want to be fair and throw another 2 banks in the same rate into the same boat, with NAB and Westpac both coming in with a 1.05% also. Now I want to say in defense of Westpac, though it does have a special account that offers 1.3%, so, yay Westpac. But I mean, they all seem to be offering the same rate. That is until you see ANZ's poor 1% savings account. I mean, to be fair, that's probably why they're not raising capital. They're not giving free money out there to us who put money in their bank accounts. So now, given that we know the poor rates that we're getting with the top tier banks, I highly encourage you, if you have money in the top banks, to move them elsewhere, because the rates are just really sad. Which is why now I'm going to touch on our HISAs, or high interest savings account. Now with the HISAs, I want to say that these accounts will not include the ones with the introductory rates, because the last time when I did this video, people were saying, you forgot this account, you forgot that account, you forgot that, and then when I looked into the account, it's like a 3-month, 4-month introductory rate, which I excluded to start with. So this is going to include your Rabobanks, which is on the top of Finder every single time I look it up. And the reason I do this is so that you guys don't have to create so many bank accounts every few months and move all your money over, because I understand it's a bit of a drag. I have to do it. And I like dealing with money. Also, all the accounts that I mentioned are going to be all ADIs. That's banks that are authorized deposit-taking institutions. So your money in each of these accounts is covered by a government guarantee of up to $250,000 per account. So without further ado, here are the best 4 savings accounts right now in May 2020. Just a quick disclaimer, I don't know every single bank in the whole of Australia, so if I miss one, don't get too mad, just leave it in the comments below, greatly appreciate it. Okay, bye. So starting off with the first one, we have a 3-way tie for the rate of 1.8%, which goes to ME Bank, Suncorp, and ING, which if you've read The Barefoot Investor, you probably already have an account with ING. And the poor barefoot investor himself, Scott Pape, isn't even getting an affiliate commission of signing off all these people to these ING bank accounts. Now in terms of criteria for ME Bank, it seems that the only criteria to earn this rate is that you make 4 transactions and have a maximum balance of $250,000. For ING, to satisfy the criteria, you just have to deposit $200 per month and make 5 transactions within the month. And for Suncorp, well, there is really no transaction requirement. It just requires that you deposit $200 a month and are only allowed to make 1 withdrawal. So for the first option, you actually have 3 options. So take your pick. The second one we have on the list is UpBank with 1.85%. It's one of the new neobanks, which is basically any online-only bank. So UpBank has really recently been firing ads on Instagram and has a pretty new and refreshing platform that appeals to a younger demographic who may want to use a fresher mobile interface, and yeah, go Zoomers. The interest rate isn't bad at all, during a time when interest rates are at an all-time low. Now if you have concerns whether they're safe or not because it's something new and online and I guess you just don't want to lose your money, let me reassure you in saying that it's quite safe actually. It's also an ADI, as all your money is held under the accounts with Bendigo and Adelaide Bank, which have been around for a while, just nobody uses it. Well, not that I know of anyways, to be fair. Now the condition with UpBank is interestingly that you only get this rate up to $50,000. So if you have any amounts over $50,000, you actually get a 0.1%, which is, well, worse than the big banks. So although the app and marketing looks cool, the fact that you lose all the bonus money after $50,000 is a no for me. But it's cool if you have less than that and you want to set up multiple savings accounts. You also need to make 5 transactions per month, which is, well, as you can see now, a very common theme for these type of accounts. Now moving into the third account is MyState Bank. Now this bank was suggested to me by a comment a while back when I made a video on savings accounts. MyState Bank has the same rate as UpBank but does not have a maximum limit except for, well, the $250,000 limit that most accounts will. And the reason for that is obviously the guarantee is only upwards to $250,000. So with the 1.85%, if you have $100,000 in it, you'll make $1,850 per year. Now, in terms of conditions, it's pretty easy. You just need to make 5 transactions every single month and make a deposit of $20 per month. Now, all of us here should be able to make a deposit of $20 a month, and if you can't, then I highly suggest that you go please check your budget.
Yikes.
There's also no limit on withdrawals with this account, so feel free to draw money as you please. Alright, on to our final big bank with the highest interest rate in this entire list. That's not an introductory rate, and that isn't limited to certain residents in certain states. That is the bank of my home state, Bank of Queensland, or BOQ. Now it's a great bank in terms of service, as I hear. I've never actually used them, nor would I actually buy their stock. But their savings accounts are actually really good, coming in at 2%. Now the only condition is that you deposit $1,000 per month and make 5 transactions.
What?
Now hold your horses, I know $1,000 a month can be quite a bit for some of us. Just get work to deposit your money into that account and you'll be fine. But yes, they offer a generous 2% up to $250,000. Now the bonus with this is if you're a Zoomer, Gen Z, which I'm sure some of you are. I'm a little bit older than that, I have to admit, though I might not look like it. So if you're from the age of 14 to 24, you can get a 3% interest rate, given you make a deposit of $200 per month and make 5 transactions. And of course, there's a limit of this. You can only do it upwards to $10,000 because, well, banks need to make their money and their cut too. But this is still a great deal for Zoomers. And another bank, if you're in New South Wales, that offers this also for the Zoomers is the Greater Bank, which also offers 2% for people under 25 years old. But you have to be a resident of New South Wales. And again, it's only 2%, so you might as well just sign up for the Bank of Queensland one, which is 3% and doesn't have any restrictions. So yes, guys, those are some accounts that you can park your money into. Now, if I've missed some, let me know in the comments below. Let me know in the comments what bank accounts you guys are using. But otherwise, I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night. Catch you later. Cheers.